The arms are a bit more straightforward since they only really consist of two objects, not counting the hands. The first thing we can pronounce with the upper arm is the triceps on the back and the biceps on the front. The triceps is not that large and is most noticeable when you straighten your arm completely. We can mark the shapes with the draw or crease brushes and scrape off the areas leading into the elbow. The biceps takes up the majority of the frontal upper arm and is very prominent. Make sure that both have a bit of curvature to them from the front and the top view. We'll leave the upper arm for now and move on to the lower arm. The interesting thing about the lower arm is that it mainly consists of two bones, the ulna and the radius, which are able to twist around each other. This way we can rotate our lower arm freely and usually have the wrist at 90 degrees rotated in comparison to the elbow. We can sculpt this into the arm for now by adding and scraping off the surfaces in a twisting pattern. We are also able to notice the thickest areas from the front view are close to the elbow, getting thinner towards the wrist. Don't lose the profile from the primitive objects though. The side from the front of the elbow towards the palm of the hand is relatively flat and wide in comparison to the sides. We can also mark in the elbow connections a bit more. Now we can already move on to the legs, which have some similarities to the arms. The upper leg can be pushed up into the hips a bit more. The front of the upper leg, or quadriceps, and the biceps on the back have a similar profile as the upper arm. We can add some creases to divide the major sections of the muscles on the leg and scrape off some surfaces a little bit. Also, the muscles in the back of the leg disappear under the butt. We can repeat the same thing in the front of the leg, but with the muscles leading into the knee and becoming thinner. There's also a bit of a curve towards the center, with a bit more volume near the butt and the knee. From there, we'll move on to the knee itself. The kneecap can be flattened a bit, while we add more muscles on the back with the clay strips brush. add some creases to pronounce the kneecap more, and connect the muscles on the sides to the other parts of the leg by pulling them up and down towards them. You can also add a bit more volume with the clay brushes. For the shin, we'll scrape off the sides a bit to make it less cubic, but we want to keep the sharp edge in the front. On the outer side, we'll stay rounded. We can also push the lower end down to the ankle. For the calves on the back, we'll push the top part up a bit to connect it to the knee muscles. The thickest portion is then on the bottom part, where we can add more volume. Also, flatten the back side a little bit. Towards the ankle, we can then pronounce the Achilles by scraping off the sides and leaving this thin portion on the back. Keep grabbing the mesh though to straighten the Achilles afterwards, otherwise the shape will get too bumpy. You can reinforce the shape with a couple of creases. And then this is it for the legs and arms. In the next video, I'll go into the hands and feet.